structures around White Rock Lake have sprung up for several reasons. One was need, the pump houses, for instance. One was private use, which is now outlawed, but which has left some pleasant and useful relics, such as the Dreyfus Club. Finally, there was the fact that the labor was at hand to accomplish them. The picnic shelters, the Sunset Bay building, which now houses a museum, and 3 other buildings were the work of the Civilian Conservation Corps between 1935 and 1942. Such planning as there was relied on instinctive use of the terrain and the use to which it was put, and was, generally speaking, successful. The time may well be past for such leisurely free-handedness, even though it did give us the White Rock we have today. It is to be hoped that some specific recommended uses for structures as well as for land will be included in the Forest and Cotton report. Take the old pump houses. They're no longer used, but they're quite good-looking buildings and beautifully sited. There is talk of restaurant use for one of them. Rather than letting it just happen, could there not be a plan to house a fine dining room in the larger one, perhaps with a private ballroom for big parties upstairs? Could there be an informal connection with the second building, which might become a hamburger and snack bar with an Olympic-sized pool, tennis courts, and other outdoor facilities? The orientation is so lovely, the sun sets behind these buildings, and it would be equally pleasant to look out over this view, whether you're enjoying a long candlelit meal, a cold drink at poolside, or a picnic sandwich while you wander close to the spillway. Motorboats of more than 10 horsepower were banned from White Rock a long time ago, and these old boathouses were made into very pleasant fishing shelters, very much used. Could not there be other imaginative uses of the shoreline further up the lake? An area of wilderness, perhaps, or a bird sanctuary. The 1959 Texas Tech report, which seems to have dismissed the idea of swimming even then, suggests that the bathhouse might be adapted for recreational purposes or private meetings. It adds an interesting note that the bathhouse area is the only one in the park which forms a natural amphitheater. This might be used for informal concerts given from a floating stage in the water where the diving platform used to be. Or there might be plays or pageants or fireworks displays or any number of projects forgotten in the onset of air conditioning, but remembered as urban packaging gets more oppressive and simple outdoors seems more desirable because it's more rare. Parks are for people, and people need parks, but the relationship has changed mightily in the last few years. Certainly it is to be hoped that some people experts will be included with the fine mechanical ones which are to make up the Forest and Cotton report.